Hi everyone, this is Sister Garver. I wanted to make a video real quick and just kind of explain some of the changes to the workbook. I think just the strange start to the semester, midweek start, kind of threw some people off because the course council uploaded some changes to the workbook partway through that week. And so depending on when you downloaded your copy of the workbook, you might have a slightly different version from other students. And so I wanted to try and go through some of those changes. I mean, you're welcome to download a new copy of the workbook if you want to get the most updated version. And that might be the easiest thing going forward, but you don't have to do that. The essence of the assignments should be pretty much the same, but there are a few changes that I just wanted to go through. I haven't found all of the changes yet, but I'm going to at least let you know which ones I'm aware of, just so that you're not confused with trying to find your assignments and things like that. So some of the biggest change really from the older workbook to the newer workbook is over here in the titles to the different journals. So I'm going to show you the older version first. So if you downloaded it towards the beginning of the week or before the semester started, you might have titles here that are, reading as Journal A, 1, 2, 3, like that. So for the newer version, they kind of simplified that and just did 1 and 2, and then they specified that it's the reading chapter. These are those notes that are optional that you don't have to do. So they made the titles a little bit more specific, so it's a little bit clearer what you have to do and what you don't have to do. And they made it so that they eliminated this whole Journal A that was in the older version. So if you have the older version, again, you just have to kind of watch out for the different the titles on there. The newer one is a little bit clearer about things. The newer one also has this pre-semester checklist. And this is not an assignment. This is just for your own reference. Pre-semester checklist and different ways that you can help implement some of these strategies into your life that are not present in the older version of the workbook. But again, that's not graded and it's not going to affect anything. So you don't have to download a new version of the workbook if you've already started in the first one. But just be aware that this section is not graded and it's just for your own enrichment. Just to be really clear, the reading chapter notes, they changed these in the newer version to more of a Cornell style of reading notes versus in the older one, it is more of a fill in the blank kind of a format. Either one is fine. Like I say, you can use whichever one you feel more comfortable with, but just letting you know that that's one of the changes that was made. Remember that the reading chapter notes are not required, but you can use them on the quizzes if you choose to. So that's a difference there. It's just kind of the formatting of the notes that they're doing. The other most major change that I've noticed, and this is probably the one that might mess you up the most, is if you have the older version of the workbook, they put all of the academic skill plans at the end, one after the other. But in the newer version of it, they changed the order of the academic skill plans so that they appear in the order that they appear in the class. So that's just kind of alleviate a little bit of confusion. But if you had the older version of the workbook, you just have to be aware that your academic skill plans are going to appear at the very end of that menu. And if you have the newer version, they're going to appear kind of in the order that you're doing the assignment. So if you're having trouble finding the academic skill plans, just let me know and I can, help you figure out where they are in your version of the workbook. If that's if you have the newer or older version, it's going to be slightly different where those are located. And so the small exception to that is that for some reason they still have the last two academic skill plans at the very end of the newer version of the journal, and those are not the order that they appear in. So I'm not sure why they moved most of them up there in the order that they appear in the class and why they left a couple at the end. But when we get to that point in the class later on, if you're struggling to find that, just be aware that the academic skill plans for speech and the one for managing money are still placed at the very end. And so those are just a couple of changes there from the older version to the newer version. And then if you have the paper version of the workbook, it's going to be different as well. So if you have trouble, I'm sorry about the confusion here. I didn't find out until last night that they had made all these changes And so my earlier videos are not going to really match up with the newer version of the workbook. So just let me know if you're having any trouble finding anything, or if you're not sure where to locate your assignments, and we will figure that out together, since they kind of did a rearrangement of some of the materials. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions or you're having trouble finding any assignments. I'm happy to help you find them. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.